Okay, I think I edited my I set the settings of my microphone to be a little bit better because it was a bit quiet the last few videos that I was making. Uh, I've been binging. I don't know if if anybody's been catching up with this, but I have been binge watching EFAT Minis. EFAT Minis on Mooler's channel, Mool capital Ler, and on episode 6, there's what we call the Executioner. Now, I don't really care what his actual name is. I wasn't really paying attention. I was mainly listening in the background and was, caring about whether or not they were making fun of it. Ha ha ha, point and laugh. And there was one comment in this entire thing, and they're debunking, I guess, or just making fun of it, that really pointed out the silliness of the character, the villain, the villain, how he really is just a throwaway character. Because Batwoman comes in, saves the day, start from finish, boom, he's in jail. But the thing is, what if we made him into a competent character? What if we made this guy who, spoiler warning for anybody who hasn't seen Batwoman, CW Batwoman, Season 1, Episode 6, is that the entire... I'm going to be spoiling anything, so I doubt anybody out there is actually going to go watch it, but I've got to get that little spoiler warning in there. He is a person in the judicial system that has been sending innocent men off to be executed, either knowingly or unknowingly. But he was very ignorant about this entire situation, and it was about racism, and he was a blatant racist, and if they were brown or black, therefore, boom, instant chair. Or something like that. That's pretty much the gist of it. So what if we actually made him into a competent character? What if we made an executioner who... gotta change the colors here. Gotta put that, make this into 28. Competent villain. The executioner. Executioner or executioner? Or? Nah, that looks weird. Let's go with that one. So, competent villain, the executioner. This entire story. Now, I might deviate. I'm going to most likely deviate somewhere else, whenever, whomever, whyever. So, competent villain, the executioner. So first, let us create our objectives. That's the most important part about any type of activity that we do. We define our objectives. So whatever thought process that we think about, we can always be guided by the guidelines we've set up at the very beginning. So, objectives. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make this into 18. My favorite number. Hi-yo! Straight to jail. So we got to make 1. He's a villain who has done wrong, who tries to do right. I got a new keyboard, and it's about $10 at Walmart. I needed a computer because the other one got something into the keyboards and it just went kaput. I was like, crap. So, very grateful that there was a $10 one, but the space bar seldom actually works. It's weird. But $10, man, I'll take it. So, until I can save up for a better one and invest into a better one. So he's a villain who's done wrong, who tries to do right. Tries to do what? Right. Number 2, he is... Let's shrink this down to about 15. Yeah, no. 12. Bam, right there. Hopefully that's visible, because we have a lot of drawing to do. So he's a villain who's done wrong, who tries to do right. Number 2, he dons the... I wouldn't say the scarecrow mask, but maybe the executioner... Yeah, he dons the executioner mask to hide his guilt. This is the few writing that we'll do, and we'll get into the story. To hide his guilt. 3, he eventually... So we have our guidelines. He eventually... Where do we want to go with this? Well, okay, now I'm laying out a plan, but I'm not really laying out our objectives. So we'll just roll with this. So he eventually succumbs to the addictive nature of revenge. He eventually succumbs to the addictive nature of revenge. 4. He's principled. He's principled in not harming the innocent. Not harming the innocent. But who he deems to be guilty is skewed. I don't know if that's actually the correct way, skewed. So let's read this again. So he's a villain who's done wrong who tries to do right. Again, that's how you create a really good villain, in my opinion. So, and you can make a really creative villain who's just evil through and through, and you can make him into a trope. You can make him into a stereotype. But it's okay if the story allows that to happen. But we're going to go with a little bit more realism, if that's the word I'm looking for. Number 2, he dons the executioner mask to hide his guilt. There's a reason he dons it, so he can go out and do these activities, trying to maybe that he does it for a reason. He doesn't dress up to be this caricature. He does it because of a certain feeling of maybe trying to run from his past or something. So he eventually succumbs to the addictive nature of revenge. Well, revenge has consequences, and maybe he yeah. 5. He's caring and a bit too empathetic. Not just there's empathetic and sympathetic. Empathy and sympathy. Empathy is feeling for the other person. Sympathy is understanding for the other person. One's more cerebral, one's more emotional, or heart. So he's a bit too empathetic, not just sympathetic. And you could go many places with this, but we have 5. That's all we need. We're done. So I want to go over it one more time because there's a lot we can do with this. A lot. If we wrote any more principles, I think it would kind of limit us. If we had too few, then it would be too open. But if we have 5 very specific caricature traits about this guy, we can do so much with him. So number 1, the executioner. He's a villain who's done wrong who tries to do right. So he has a past, and he's trying to do right by it. So he goes out and like what Batman does, for different reasons, but the same activity. He dons the executioner's mask to hide his guilt. So now Batman dons the mask to specifically instill fear in the hearts of those who feed on the fear of others. Or at least in Batman Begins, that's what he does. So he has a reason for donning the mask. It's just a little bit kind of creepy, like Buffalo Bill from I don't know if it's Silence of the Lambs. I think that is. Probably not. I don't know. Forget which movie that's from. He eventually succumbs to the addictive nature of revenge. So he probably gets way too invested in this caricature. He didn't want to make this caricature. He's trying to run from his guilt. And then there's this evolution, this metamorphosis that transforms him into more of a permanency into this character that he tried to maybe help other people. And then it's like, wow, this feels good. I have power. I can help. I have control. I'm going to continue doing this and helping others, but he's really harming people. So he might be doing like the ends justify the means, but the means might be harming actual innocent people who didn't know, who were ignorant, who were literally innocent. Oh, there's no innocent people. Oh, okay. So he's principled in not harming the innocent. So but he deems to be guilty is skewed. So it's like if there's somebody who is he thinks or believes that someone is innocent regardless of how guilty they are, they will leave them alone. They'll try to even help them, and not help them using the executioner style. He'll use his own body to stop a bullet or something. Like he's that type of guy. It's like, I'm going to try to do good, but it's we'll keep going. So he's caring and a bit too empathetic. Not just he's empathetic, he's a bit too empathetic. Emphasis on the bit, but too, like too much. So, and not just sympathetic, again. Not just cerebral, but emotional. Okay, now that we have these things, we will draw the executioner. Okay, we're gonna draw a little pointy hat, and then we're gonna call this the Ku Klux Klan. They call them the Wizards. No, but he has an executioner hat. Maybe he has a, yeah, right there. This, and then an upside down triangle. How do you do that? Let's do this way. Here, here, there. Okay, and then we're going to invert, rotate. There we go. Flip vertically. There we go. So here's his mask. And it might be a black hood, maybe with some red, or like a red intro, right? A red over here, and maybe a darker red right here. And then you have, nah, not a star. Like maybe a symbol of some sort right here that kind of just gives him a little bit more of an eerie. Well, nah, I don't think you'd give him a symbol. Maybe the symbol of justice and peace. Maybe something like that right there. But then we got to give him a bit more color, and let's go with a dark yellow. It's not dark yellow. We'll go with that. So here's a little thing right there. I think that looks pretty creepy. Okay, that's what executioners make right before they decapitate you. Chop. And while your head's there in the basket for the next 18-20 seconds, he keeps going. That would be absolutely frightening. I'm just saying. It's not an experience that I wish anybody actually have happen to them. That would suck. Okay, so we have our, definitely not the Ku Klux Klan. So he's going to come over here. Let's make certain that this is transparent selection. There we go. So we have our executioner. From this executioner, what we can have is he's in the world of Gotham. Let's create our little city. Boom, city. City. For this, we want to have a fill, solid color, and then maybe one over here, maybe a little bit closer. Oh, maybe a little bit higher. There, and then we have this one, and then we have here, and then we have here, 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 here. One more right here. And then here, 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 here. There we go. And then maybe something like this. Boom. Bam, look at that. That's a city right there. Now, right here looks a little bit weird, but... Okay, we got ourselves our city. And then, what's the next thing? So we got the executioner. Who's going to be within this storyline? Because let's consider this to be an absolute... Not an absolute, a legitimate Batwoman character. So we gotta draw the Batwoman. So we gotta give the hair. We gotta create the hair. Oh, I love where this is gonna go. I might get a little, I might upset a few people, but I think this. No, I think I might impress a few people. I think that's what's gonna happen here. We gotta fill this one in. Boom, boom. Look at that. Okay, what am I doing with this? I am going to draw. This has to be this color. That has to be this color. Oh, it has to be black. What are you doing? Come on. Okay, there we go. And then a circle. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Are you seeing what I'm doing? I think I know what you think I'm doing. And then I'm going to do a triangle. And we're going to do a triangle here. And then we're going to copy paste. Copy paste. Uh-oh, that's not what I want. Not transparent section. Oh, boo. That's not what I want. Oh, that's why. Okay, no. I understand what's going on. Transparent section and different color backgrounds, foregrounds, so on and so forth was getting in the way. So we have that. We have this. Yeah, that'll work. And then we got to give the yellow eyes. Yellow or red eyes? I'll go with yellow eyes. Okay, one right here. And then we're going to section, copy, paste. Aw, but let's go ahead and fill that color. We're going to make it, oh, dang it, what am I doing? There we go. And we're going to section, rotate, horizontal. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Horizontal switch, and then what we're going to do is make the background color a certain way. So when we do this, it works. Okay, we got to make it a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. There we go. That works. That works for me. So copy, paste. Because we got to make that one smaller, we're going to make this one the exact same. So we're going to make this one yellow. We're almost done. We're going to rotate, horizontal, and then from here we're going to make the background again gray. So when we copy and paste, or actually drag, and look at that. We did it! Holy crap, guys, we did it. Look at that. That looks freaking amazing. I'm impressed with myself. I'm doing phenomenal in Paint. I tell you what. Okay, so we got to do this, and then we're going to delete that. Look at that! Look at that! I know it's like a very narrow head, the Executioner and Batwoman, but dang, I am amazing. I am patting myself on the back. Also, I'm slapping myself in the face to give myself a little bit more of a humble feel. Because, you know, ego. Okay, so we have the characters, and now we can start drawing and creating the story. Is that there's really yeah, we'll go ahead and go with that. And then make the size this. Okay, let's make it red so it's noticeable. Can we do yellow? Yellow or red? Yeah, let's do orange. Ooh, that just looks weird. Let's do blue. No. This? No, that looks weird. I think we should go with yellow. Yellow it is. Yep, that's more noticeable. Okay, save. The villain himself, he's probably having a... So let's just say that he is in the exact same way in the Batwoman universe. So the Executioner, let's just call him Jim James. Jimmies. Let's call him Stephen. Steven? Let's call him Steven. And then he calls himself the Executioner. Why would a Steven do this to himself? Why Steve? Stefani. Steph, let's call him the Executioner. Executioner in his regular job in the middle of Gotham City is doing his traditional route. So he goes to work, and we get to see a little bit of his day by day, and the actual gruesome, not the gruesome level, but the guilt that's behind his activities, that he might actually know that there are innocent people being sent to jail and then to death row, or even worse. Well, no. The backstory on him is actually pretty freaking good in Batwoman. I think it's just the execution afterwards. They just throw him out as just a one-off when they could have done a lot more with him. So, again, the Batwoman story, the entire first episode of the first season, is an entire story arc from start to finish for a season 1. She becomes a fully realized superhero in one episode. That's stupid. There's no development after that. It's like, that's the greatest achievement that you can achieve in Gotham City in that universe. She goes through so many things in that first episode, and none of them, absolutely zero, are earned. Now I'm probably skewing it a bit, but gosh, it's just they just rushed it. Okay, so we have the Executioner in the city in Gotham. From this, he's going through his day-to-day, and he's realizing that this one person over here, and this person over here, and this person over here, and all of these are apartment buildings. He's realizing that these are the people that are coming to his courtroom, and I don't think he would be a judge, but maybe would he be the persecutor? Yeah. He's not the defendant's. Hopefully, I have the names right. I apologize to anybody who's actually knows legal stuff, but the persecutor who's trying to get them convicted of a crime, and he may be not aware. Okay, instead of making him aware of it, maybe he doesn't know that they didn't do it, but he has evidence, planted evidence, falsified evidence that made him that presumed the people who came to the courtroom to be guilty. So he would always fight tooth and nail for those people to be sent to death row. Maybe 5-10% of them got away, or maybe like 20-30% of them just got like life in prison, but maybe a high percentage chance. Let's just say 20-30% actually got death row, where 80-70% were just sent to life in prison. So he had a high conviction rate, and then he probably had like 5-10%, 20% that were let free or something because they just didn't stick. So again, he was just really amazing. He was top of his game. He was really he could do what he did what he did with a passion, influence. You could probably show that within the first half of the episode. It's like the first half of the episode has nothing to do with Kate Kane, has nothing to do with Batwoman. The first part of the first episode in this entire thing, and we could probably give this guy an incredible arc, is that maybe he goes through the transition. We could probably show this within 5 minutes. Maybe he's like really happy to like, maybe he's a really happy person, so every time that he goes to work, every time that he knows that he's going to work, he's going to be sending somebody who was an axe murderer or whatever the evidence showed, and he's going to say like, hey, I'm getting this guy off the street. I have good work and purpose in my life. What I'm doing matters within the world that I'm living. So we could set up his entire life to be he's a self-motivated, he's educated, he's doing what's right, and the thing is that he's really good at his job. And then his entire world is going to be turned upside down. What would that thing be that turns him upside down? Would it be a case? Would it be... Oh... Every single day, that's actually a really good story. Every single day, the executioner goes to work. So wherever his work actually is, let's just say that's his work. Every day he goes to work, and this is where he lives. So he goes through town, he goes through the walks, and then there he goes. But he always sees a kid in this one spot near his home that is just the best kid he has ever seen. Or maybe not the best kid. He's like a troublemaker, but he's one of those, like, he's a 10-year-old. Okay? Or he has that level of innocence. You could probably make him like a 15-year-old who has the innocence of a 10-year-old. He just hangs out with his friends. He's a skateboarder or something, and it's just some natural guy, some natural kid hanging out with his friends, and he looks on the up and up, and he actually sees him study. We could actually have an entire like a 3-day arc where we see what is it called, a compilation or a montage of him going from his work, saying hi to that kid on the street, and then going to work and taking care of these really, really bad guys, and be like, I'm convicting them. Boom, they're off to jail. They're either convicted, off to jail, or going to be put to the chair. So one of those 2, 3, 4, 5 options, or whatever it is. So he's just like, he's trucking along, he's living life, he keeps going, and then after like maybe the 5th or something day that we see, everything comes crumbling down, because the kid that was right here every single day that he saw was in the hot seat as the plaintiff or the defendant. I don't know what it is in criminal court, not lawsuits or something, but he's in the hot seat, and he's now facing criminal charges of 3rd-degree murder or something. And it's like, this has, like, the guy that lives here, the executioner, before he becomes the executioner, he realizes that the charges are bullshit, pardon my language, that it's just, what the hell is going on? This guy right here, this kid who lives with his grandmother, who takes care of his grandfather, who has a mother who works every single day, and a father that's at work every single day, and maybe he's like the oldest of 5 or something, maybe the oldest of like 5 or 6 or something. It's like, what does that sound like? Hispanic! Sounds racist, but everything that I just mentioned is good. That's a good thing. Good family, parents are married, big household, and he's the oldest of 5 or 6. So let's just say he's the oldest of 6 and he takes care of 5. So he's like another parent who is taking care of the younger children, and he has to take care of everybody while the parents are away at work when they come home or something. It's just a kind of, not really chaotic, but he's a very busy kid. So when he is being charged of murder, the executioner is like, whoa, 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 what? That's not right. Or it's not that even that he was just charged with third-degree murder. Maybe it was a double, triple homicide or something. Maybe, just maybe, he actually saw him at this location at the when the executioner was leaving home, going from home to work. He actually saw the kid at his home taking care of someone, or playing with his friends or something. We know his character. He saw him at his home before, like at the same time that he was charged. The charges were being brought upon him in court that he was convicted of a third degree or double homicide, third degree murder, whatever it is, just like something really intense. So the guy fights tooth and nail to be like, I can't prosecute this guy. So he goes, so the prosecutor is like, what the hell? This doesn't make, no, I don't know what would happen legally. I would probably have to find an actual prosecutor or something and talk and discuss with them, or do some research about what would a prosecutor do if they choose to not take on a case. Are they legally bound to only prosecute, or can they find a way to defend the kid or something? That would be a question I would have, try to make it a little bit more real. But maybe, just maybe, he finds whatever the actual application is from being in the courtroom. Maybe he has to legally hold himself from court and say, like, I can't do this job. I refuse to do. I plead the fifth or something. It's like this is insane. I won't do this. So what they do is bring in another prosecutor to come in, who will play ball again with the people above him. He will play ball, and he prosecutes the kid to the utmost degree at age of 15. And he probably doesn't get the chair, but he probably will go to maximum security prison as a 15-year-old. And he's going to be a bitch, a legitimate bitch. Now being at the age of 15, I don't really know what will happen, but maximum security for a 15-year-old. That is freaking ridiculous. And maybe they throw the legitimate book, law, everything on top of him, weights, cars, and everything. It's just like, you can't get out of this. So we have a scenario where this guy has an entire life, entire well-to-do life, and then he realizes that the kid that he always hung out with goes from work, goes from home, comes to work, and then goes back home, seeing the kid across the street doing really good, maybe the family, but just the kid stands out. And then the new prosecutor that comes in says, no to this, no, he's guilty, throw the book at him, bury him, he's a murderer. He always uses like the murderer phrase to try to skew the courts, or skew the jury, try to manipulate them into thinking that he actually is a murderer. And but the people who were murdered, oh shoot. Okay, so are we gonna make this into he's an arch villain, or is he just a villain, the executioner? Because if you want to make him into an arch villain, the best way for him to say no to society and say no to what Gotham judicial system is that the people who were murdered were his mom and dad. I don't like that, but story-wise, it's probably an overused trope. It's probably like, how in the that would actually give the kid probable cause. And the only person who is like, this is bullshit, this doesn't exist, this doesn't make any sense to anything. It's like, I've seen him every single day. It's like, well, that's how they get you or something. And he realizes at the same time that his parents were murdered, he was going to work or something. It's like, on this day, he did it. And it's like, no, he didn't. I saw him on that day, and that didn't work or something. And maybe the judge throws him out, and that's why he's probably in contempt of court. And he's in prison, or in a jail cell, and he actually overhears the verdict of the kid, and is actually going to maximum security prison. So from that day, he tries to he stops being a prosecutor, and he takes days, if not weeks, off to try to figure out and go from one location to the next location to the next location, and trying to figure out where did this information happen? He goes back to where the home is, that's conveniently either across the street or right next to his home, and he tries to do his own research and discovery. And he kind of goes around the law. There's probably officers there that are trying to that do like a crime scene. He maybe impersonates a cop or something. He gets in there, and it's like, as impersonating a cop, he almost gets in trouble. He probably sneaks out in the back, and he tries to run away, go behind a building, and go back home. So he's like curtailing the cops, and they already know who he looks like. So at this point, that the executioner guy, he is seeing a bunch of issues as to like, what just happened is absolutely bullshit. This does not work. This doesn't make any sense. Why would that work? And then the executioner. Now, again, he call him Bill, and Bill Teddy Roosevelt. So, Bill Teddy's. Billy the Ted kid, something, I don't know. Names are not necessarily my forte. So the executioner, while he's figuring out everything about this, he probably finds some street corner and tries to pick up some evidence of a camera that was looking this way, and he starts finding people's faces, and he's recognizing them because he works in the courtroom, and it's a face that he remembers seeing while being here, and it's often something that he sees. And then he goes and tries to do some investigative work. He goes, and then after like maybe a day or two, maybe 3 or 4, however long it takes him to actually do the investigative work, he goes back, he starts doing his normal daily route over and over again. And again, we haven't even gotten to Batwoman yet. She is so far away until we actually get to her, because we're first focusing on his development. I know that we're going to go a little bit maybe overboard, but I'm really into this, so we got to keep going. So the executioner decides to, after he gathered all of his evidence and he's trying to build a plan, the one decision that he makes is that I can't go to the cops because maybe the cops are not in on it, but I don't know who to trust with this information, so I'm just going to go on my regular route, just go down the lane, something or whatever. He goes here, and one of the things that he does is he has to persecute another kid who did something pretty much like the same thing, maybe murdered a kid, cop, something or whatever. Yeah, maybe the kid murdered a cop, but the cop, the kid, maybe a 19-year-old killed a cop or something, and the cop, or maybe a 40-year-old disgruntled worker at a business, a corporation, and then at this corporation, again, employing about 50, 100, 150 people. It's probably international or something. That the disgruntled employee killed one of the CEOs or CIO, the chief chief FO, the chief FO, the chief financial officer. And the chief financial officer was killed by, again, a group of people. I want to say a cult, but very much a cult-like kind of people where they're like trying to a secret society. So the chief financial officer in the CEO, excuse me, I misspoke. The chief financial officer, let's go ahead and do this and then undo. And then the chief financial officer of one of these things is that, no, let's do a kid he knew tried for murder. So that's one big thing that happens. And finds evidence, makes plan, and then the next thing is that he, a lot of details that we're adding. It's just we're doing an overarching view. Goes to work to eavesdrop, prosecutor him, has to charge innocent man again. Man accused of murdering CFO who was part of the organization that is framing innocent people. okay, we're giving this guy pretty much an arc for any hero, but this guy's going to be a legitimate villain. The reason why he's going to be a villain is because he's going to go over the top. He's going to do the wrong things, but he thinks and feels like he's doing the right thing. And we're giving this guy a lot of complexity here. A lot of complexity. So this man is accused of murdering CFO, who was part of an organization that is framing innocent people. So the CFO was killed because maybe he knew too much, maybe he wasn't going along with the plan, maybe there was going to be an overthrow, and there was going to be a new CFO who was part of the organization, who was going to start cleaning up the city, and I mean like legitimately cleaning it up so they can make the moolah, or power, or make a new world order, but I doubt it would be a new world order. I think it's just more money or something. Well, the Executioner. And then this is where Batwoman is going to have a big trouble on her hands, because she is actually going to find some ways to maybe sympathize or even empathize with this guy because of all the crap that he actually sees in the entire world, while Batwoman, again, being related to rich, wealthy people, having been a veteran who doesn't know the life of living in a city, but knows only what, like, war, because she's a veteran. She has a different life and different perspective than him, so she has a shift. Batman goes into the streets every day and beats up people, while Batwoman is maybe trying to figure out of, like, oh, I know what criminals are, and it's like, well, this guy right here, he's a criminal. But the reason why he's doing it is because he's trying to kill even worse criminals. He's trying to get rid of them permanently. And then she's like, holy crap. So I think it's a good opportunity for Batwoman to have a development like that. I think Batwoman could have one thing that I love about the prior story that we did yesterday is Batwoman uses weapons. She uses guns specifically. I know that Batman, he has quote-unquote gadgets. They could be considered weapons, but Batwoman has guns because she was trained as specifically a veteran, in the special forces or something, whatever skill set that she had, and she applied it, and she tried to what's the word? Adapt new technology to her pistols using ammo that will hurt like a bitch, but will stun or maybe like shock a little bit for just a moment. For the people that she's going after. So she stops maiming people, stops shooting them and allowing them to bleed out, and goes after them with a modified stun gun, a more effective stun gun. So when she's going after the Executioner, she thinks that she's actually going after the bad guy, which he's going to be a really bad guy, but I want some way to sympathize with this guy. It's like, I can understand why he's doing what he's doing, but here's a good question that I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe if he's stopped, the people who are still killing continue to kill. So this guy's going to continue going, this guy's going to continue going, this guy's going to continue going. That the only reason as to why the other evils, we got ourselves a juicy piece of meat. We are so going to enjoy this. Okay, so Batwoman is going to go after the Executioner. The Executioner has been going after after people in this quote-unquote maybe small hidden society, or just this enterprise that's trying to profit from what is it called? There's the privatization of convicts, of inmates, or something like that. Maybe they're just trying to find. Maybe they may not be all connected, but maybe these two people know each other. This person knows that guy, and then that person knows this guy. While these two people have no relation to each other. So I'm just gonna undo all that. So while Batman is going after the Executioner is going after the people. That guy, this guy. After going after the people, when Batwoman locks this guy away, doesn't kill him, but just locks him away, so he's taken out of commission. So every single one of these people that are now don't have to worry about that one guy, or maybe they're still cautious because they don't know who he was or how things have changed. These guys are still going out there and maybe framing people for wrong actions and harming lives. But she may be going on with her life for another 9 months before the executioner breaks free. Maybe the executioner goes to jail, and the executioner is going to be... Oh, shit, son. Okay, we got another story arc going. Oh, this is going to be amazing. Okay, while Batwoman for 9 months, just as long as a pregnancy, for 9 months is away, doing other things with other villains, with other activities, etc., other challenges, maybe dealing with Wayne Enterprise itself. The executioner is inside prison. Okay, so let's undo this, because I think we got something really cool going up. And I don't know you think what it is, but I can tell you it's not what you think it is. It's like, well, what do you mean? I know, of course. He's going to be attacked in prison. Oh, contraire, actually. Here's a bar. Copy, paste. Nope, that's not it. But we'll go ahead and do this. Copy, paste. Yep, right there. Beautiful. And what we're going to do is align. Yep, right there. Select. Copy, paste. Whoa, that's not it. Paste. 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 One more. Then we'll start copying and pasting that thing. Paste. Okay, now we're going to copy, paste this thing. Do a little bit quicker. One more. Delete. There we go. So while in prison, delete and delete. There we go. So while in prison, let's do this. We're going to move Batwoman up here. We're going to move this down here, right below him. Oh, I love where this is going to go. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Okay. So, Batwoman, again, puts this guy into prison who is taking out one person after another. The people in here continue to start to thrive over the 9 months. 9 months that she's gone doing other things. In that timeline, there may be people in here that figure out that this guy was the executioner. His real life name, so like Bill Phillips or something, George Dandelion or something. And when he goes to jail, he's processed. The fingerprint. Maybe there's a few police officers or security guards in the jail cell that are actually trying to kill him or trying to harm him or something. Whatever the thing is, but most likely trying to kill him. The thing is, and this is the thing that I've been trying to allude to, or trying to get to, but I had to draw a few things. Oh, the anticipation's killing me. Get to it already. Fine. He actually makes friends in low places. While in prison, he becomes the unintentional hero to many of the downtrodden and, most importantly, forgotten in society. Okay? So the executioner is actually going to be the best friends of the people who have been sent here falsely. Even the people that were sent there for good reason, those guys have a self-interested reason to keep the executioner alive, keep him alive. Because if the executioner's alive, the people who are out here enjoying their time, putting prisoners away, there's more of like a clique. There's more of like a clique in here. So, see, now I have okay, now there's something that's kind of twisted. A crossroads. Okay. Is it that he actually gains friends with the most popular prisoners, boss lords, leaders all across Gotham City? The reason why I ask that is because wouldn't these people who are very powerful and have a lot of influence and power and what their plans are, money and so forth, wouldn't they have friends in here that would want to get the executioner killed? Oh my gosh, we have to go in that direction. We have to go in that direction. Okay, because the reason is he might consider himself to be an actual hero. So he already now, because he's taken out a few people right here, right here, right here, he's already, within the city, he's already taken out a couple of the bad guys. So he's already considering himself to be like, well, these criminals are actual criminals, and when he goes in here, he might even see his neighbor who was sent here in maximum security prison, and the executioner is actually going to be trying to get killed by some of the boss lords here who have connections in jail, and they're trying to get after this guy. This guy is trying to also save that one neighbor that he had right here. He doesn't know how the kid's going to survive after he gets out because he's going to be an escaped felon. So, whatever, but he's not going to live in prison. So it's one of those, like, pick your poison. Be out there on the run or be inside with certain death. So, unknown death, certain death. It's like, huh. That's a very difficult thing to do, and especially for a 15-year-old who lost his parents and stuff, so... yeah. But he tries to and maybe successfully succeeds. He successfully gets the guy, his neighbor, his 15-year-old neighbor, out successfully when he was in prison, and he takes care of like one guy in jail, another guy in jail, another guy in jail. But the reason why he's able to do that, not because it doesn't tear at his soul, not that he doesn't hesitate maybe once or twice, but he really has this conviction that the entire system that which he was following, the entire value system that he upheld was a good thing. But all that came crumbling down when they started going after innocent people. And he said, you know what? You're a bad guy. And there's no good coming from you from being on this planet. Immediacy, no hesitation, you're wiped out. Now, he might not be the best of fighters, but he's probably somebody who, after he's been stabbed, will continue to try to fight. And that's one thing that's what makes him scary. That's what makes him terrifying. It's like, let's even put that down. He's terrifying. Dang it. Let's do this, undo, make this black. No, let's put this here. Before we do that, do this, we're good. Terrifying, not because he's skilled, but after he gets stabbed or shot, he keeps going like the monster from Silent Hill. It's like it doesn't matter what you do to the guy's going to keep coming after you and slice you up and do really horrible things to the inside of you. So he keeps on going like a robot. His moral system has crumbled, and irrevocably. I don't know if that's the correct word. Irrevocably? Let's go with that. No, let's look it up. What does the word... I'm learning a few things here and there. It's like the word irrevocably. So it's like, I think every single day, every single video I have ever had for the last 4, 5, 6 days, I've realized that I've looked up a new word each day. It's word of the day. Irrevocably. Irrevocably. Oh, irrevocable. Oh, no, that was right. Define. What does irrevocable mean? Impossible to retract or revoke. Yeah, I was using the right term, using the right way. So crumbled and irrevocably. Has crumbled irrevocably. So his moral system will not repair itself. So maybe he might be a permanent one. He might learn how to change his actions, but he has his entire life just flipped upside down. And the terrifying thing, again, maybe while he's even in prison, this thing could go on for an entire hour. Like maybe we can have... Oh my gosh, I think I'm making not a Batwoman scene and giving her a halo. Maybe not a Batwoman movie or episode, but I think I'm giving this guy... maybe we should start our own TV show, maybe our own series, and like post it on, not Netflix or something, but like post it online, where it's not about the heroes. The heroes are important parts, and they've always been told after over and over and over and over and over. But there's this new wave of people we have not discovered yet because of one simple activity, that having a legitimately horrible person. And why would they cross the line that way? Now, again, you have to have some point that makes somebody break over the edge. And again, I don't know if that would be a legitimate reason as to why he breaks over the edge. Maybe he actually goes and tries to stop the guy who actually went and killed the two parents over here. And during the time that he found that one guy, maybe to go into another home and trying to kill those two parents, maybe he goes in there and tries to stop him, but he does it unsuccessfully, and the only way that and injures the guy who tried to kill them, and the two other people that got killed, or the CFO or another person that was the target to frame another guy. Maybe the guy that he was trying to go and save, he failed, and the guy who went there is the hitter, went there to was the assassin. Or not the assassin, but the hitman, was the hitman to go over there and kill the guy. There we go. Kill the guy. He became injured from the executioner trying to stop him before the executioner became the executioner. And when he injured the guy, the only thing that he could do was actually to kill him upright and just keep smashing him into the face or something. And he just like this is what I have to do, and he just creeps over the edge over and over and over, and it's harder for him to get back. And it's harder for him to get back to that same standard of what is good. It's like, yeah, good day. Oh, there's the okay. And it gets harder and harder for him to get back to that high point. So he starts living down here, and it's a jumbled mess. But so he's trying to make a sense of it. It's like, oh, kill people. That's the right thing. Kill the bad people. Who are the bad people? Who I think are the bad people. So maybe throughout this entire journey, he does kill a lot of evil dudes. But with that, he kills a lot of innocent people who he deems not innocent. So it's like he's correct in his mission and his mission and his purpose, but he's wrong in his execution, pun intended. Actually, it was unintended. It was unintended, but I knew I was going to say it in the same sentence, in the same breath, so I was like, might as well go with it. You see, now we have an entire arc for the Executioner. That is incredible. Okay, so now, yeah. This is pretty awesome. Okay, so after he successfully saves the kid, because we're now jumping forward into time, Batwoman took him in prison. People in here are trying to get these guys to kill this guy. This Executioner comes in, saves his neighbor. Let's remove all the yellow. Okay. So now he's out and about, and he's going through the streets, and maybe him as himself, maybe he tries to change his appearance, and he goes from one place to another location, and he becomes more of a stealth operator, and he goes and he's trying to kill just the worst people. Or maybe he just has a moment of relapse. Maybe not relapse, but a low point. That while he's out, it's like the people in prison who are not the good guys, from what his old world said, but the people in jail were trying to kill him. He comes out here where there's a lot of innocent people, but the innocent people try to kill him again. Now he has literally no friends, no family. Maybe he's been a single guy or something, and it's just like maybe he's been a bachelor, top of the world, whatever. And then it's like his entire world has crumbled. He's got nothing. He has no social security because he can't get caught by the cops again. The cops are trying to kill him. There's some people on the police force that are trying to kill him because of One, he is actually a legitimate danger to society. Number two, the organization paid off of maybe one or two of the cops. You only need like one or two cops in any organization. You don't need like 5, 10, 20 cops. You just need like one. And then that one person gives some information back, and you can do a lot more damage with fewer people. I'm not saying anybody out there should do that. I'm just saying that's the most effective way to keep everything quiet. You have one guy who's by himself. And it's like you get to be friends with anybody that you want, but if you want any more money, you just come back to us and we'll give you more money or something like that. So the cops are after him. Everyone's after him. Batwoman's after him. He's both the good guy and the bad guy, so he just doesn't give a freaking hell who he is. And maybe this is when he actually dons the Executioner for permanently, because his old life, his old him, doesn't exist anymore. The only one that has ever made sense and is actually legitimately and unfortunately real is the Executioner. His old life was a sham. This new life, the one that he has, is real. Maybe he finds a way to clean up the streets or something. He goes from like one silly criminal after another, and then he works his way up, and he's like not Red X. I'm trying to think of this. The Red Hood from Batman. That he actually takes care of a criminal. He's maybe not that effective. He's probably just some freaking crazy guy, but he's got the motivation and will to go out there and do legitimately what is most people will not do. And that's probably, again, what is terrifying about him. Like Batman. Batman is skilled, he's able, he's connected, he's financially well off, he has the tools and devices and training. But the thing that connects the Executioner with Batman, not Batwoman at the moment, is that he has the will to do what's beyond what most people do not do. So maybe he's willing to climb the side of a tower, or maybe he's willing to hide in a closet for 3 days with no food or water. He'll probably be starving or something, but it's like, this is who I am. There's no other person with whom I am. There's no other being with who I can be. So he does these very silly, crazy things. So he hides in the closet at home or at one of the victims' homes, and he maybe tortures one of the guys, and then before he, after the guy talks, like a major CEO guy or somebody who's second in command in a mafia, excuse me, he's going on and on, like, don't torture me or whatever. It's like, I'll give you whatever it is that you want. It's like, you will give me whatever it is that I want. Yes. And then he gives him everything that he wants. And then the guy is like, "Are you gonna let me go?" And it's like, "You're gonna." The Executioner says to the second in command guy at one of his homes and says, "I said you're gonna give me everything that I want, and I want you dead." Decapitates him or something. It's like the Executioner is more feared than Batman. Batman will scare you. The Executioner will hunt you and kill you without hesitation. So that, again, even the criminals are after him. So it's one of those things where both the good guys and the bad guys are the bad guys, according to the Executioner. Holy crap, man! This guy just doesn't get a break. Again, if this was real and I had the power to make this happen, I would if I knew this is actually something that was real. I know it's not. I'm just going to go with that. I'm just thinking on top of my head. I know I would never want to have this ever portrayed in any real life. But the fact that the story itself is interesting, it's so awesome. It really is. And this is how you create a really great Executioner. This is someone where you can go to, where in Batwoman, the Executioner, again, they just didn't think about it long enough. The thing is that they wanted to have a throwaway character. Why would you have a throwaway character? Let's just say that Batwoman was on was a one-shot. What if Batwoman here, was just a one-shot, where she, just for one season, like Firefly, had her rising and her falling and her redemption arc on the meta plot, but each villain that she overcomes, you can make villains that are more well thought out. You can make it more about the villains, even though Batwoman is maybe the main character. You can make an entire series of just maybe one season, 24 episodes or something, and each 1 hour episode, like Game of Thrones was, not having any commercial breaks whatsoever, where each episode is primarily about the villain, and Batwoman comes in and tries to save the day, and there's maybe a lesson or something that she learns, or is just literally a hero that comes in and then goes out. And then she realizes along the way, maybe in episode like 10 or something, she becomes more of a main character, but it's primarily about the villains. And you could go with the Executioner. You can have a phenomenal story arc between Alice in Wonderland, the main villain in the entire Batwoman series, and Batwoman, going at one another, where Alice has probably connections. Alice is probably the person that actually saves the Executioner and finds a way out of the prison for him to leave, because following the rabbit hole. Again, maybe Alice's gift, or maybe her quote-unquote power, is able to find a way down the rabbit hole. So if there's always a way, it's like, if you follow this path, this is what you'll get. But, be careful going down the rabbit hole or something. And Alice in yeah. So whatever trope you want to put there, whatever thing you want to put there. But this could be literally just episode 2 or 3, because, again, this is kind of dark. I don't know if you want to start off with this type of thing, but Batwoman could legitimately be going through all these horrible things that are happening in her city, but she might not know the full extent, but we as the audience do. Batwoman is just trying to do her best, and she legitimately does what she can. So she does put away not a criminal, a killer. But the killer is like Dexter, who's taking out the bad guys. But unfortunately, unlike Dexter, well, I've only seen the first two. I've only seen the first 2 seasons, and I sort of glanced a lot of the episodes in season 3. Season 2 of Dexter, I absolutely love. Season 1 is kind of cringy, and I don't really like the first episode. Really gets under my skin. I hate the first episode. The body that they find. It's just that's one of the reasons why I hate the series, and I don't want to continue. If you ever watch Dexter, I don't know if you should watch the first season. Watch the second season. The second season is absolutely dynamite. I highly recommend it. So, I don't know if you have to have the first season to get some more of the context of the second season. I think it's just more of a closed set and stuff. But anywho, I'm not a fan of. I hate horrors. I hate them. But the second season is not really a horror. I wouldn't consider it to be. It's maybe more a relaxed horror. It's definitely a gruesome, but it's not really a horror. So even though we're creating this entire horror filmed thing, it's like a person who hates horror, who's making horror. Horror. So you can see how maybe not convoluted, but how complex we can create this. And what could be something, just to go off a little bit further, because I'm trying to get to an hour, is what would be something that could be his ending. Maybe he doesn't die. Maybe he finds a way out of Gotham and then goes somewhere else. Maybe he actually just disappears within Gotham and tries to find a way to be more subtle with his kills. Maybe he every once in a while will just quote unquote wake up and realize, oh, hey, I need to kill this guy or something. I don't know what would happen to the Executioner. Maybe he finds him again. If we're gonna make him to a one-shot, because as a villain, not even just a villain, as a villain you have to fight, he has such an understanding worldview now. But the issue is he has to die. He really does have to die. That's an unfortunate thing. Because again, if Batwoman is trying to do her best to clear up Gotham and make it better for everybody, maybe, okay, no, that's a really good idea. Okay. And the executioner is going to go out in a blaze of glory, but he's not going to go out and like kill 100 people and use their blood to paint the city red. He's probably going to go out and actually try to, like, after he's going through Gotham and he's trying to find out good stuff, and he kills probably 1 or 2 people over here, 1 or 2 people over here, 1 or 2 people over here. That one of his last things that he does before Batwoman finally catches up with him, tries to stop him, and the executioner just like doesn't care about life anymore and just like death by cop. I don't know anybody out there. Again, hopefully you're of age to understand this. There are people who, this is not kid friendly. Again, there are people out there that actually do suicide by cop, where they just don't like life. There's something, emotionally, psychologically wrong with them. They don't like the pain that's happening inside of them. The only pain that can stop is to have them point a fake gun at a cop so they can get shot. And that's something that you can actually hear on police cams, where they say like, "Go, shoot me, and they like plea for the cop to actually just shoot them. So it's an unfortunate thing, but what can happen here is that the executioner is actually pleading for Batwoman to kill him or something, and Batwoman will not cross that line. Like maybe she tried to in the past to try to kill people, and she realized maybe not killed somebody, but crossed the line of shooting them, and maybe one of them bled out, and she was like, I can't do this. And she has maybe a good structure, good system back home, so she didn't cross that line, crossed over that line that she just can't get back. Let's remove those. So Batwoman, maybe she didn't kill anybody, but maybe because of her actions, unintentionally had somebody who died, who wasn't not an innocent, but clearly wasn't as bad as deserving of death or something. And Batwoman understands the situation and wants to try to find a way to save him. And Batwoman, by trying to do that, the executioner says, no, like, kill me, like, and all that stuff. And it's like, holy shit, dude. Or it's like, Batwoman probably has a gun, and he's, like, trying to be like, yeah, do it. Like, come on, just freaking end it already. And Batwoman, like, shoots him, and he's like, it's not enough. It's literally just a specialized stun gun that just hurts a lot. And he's kind of like surprised or something. He's probably on the edge of a cliff right here, and this is where their final battle is. The executioner, again, he's just a guy. And the one thing that he is terrifying for is that he's not skilled. But after getting stabbed or shot, he just keeps going like a robot. It's just like he doesn't stop. It's just his brain got destroyed. His brain got fried. His nervous system can't feel joy or anything anymore. I know this is getting kind of creepy. I know this is kind of getting, it's not creepy, what's the word? Depressing. Hopefully that's the right word, but grim, that would be a better word. And while they're here, maybe fighting inside of a construction site or something, way up here, or not even the construction site, but literally fighting on a roof or something. What he does is he grabs the gun, the non-lethal weapon from Batwoman, shoots out. They're not up here. They're actually in the building, trying to kill somebody else. But Batwoman stops him, and the guy that he was trying to kill was actually an innocent person. He got the name wrong or something. Maybe it is the right person, but he got the information wrong, and it reminds him from the very beginning right down here that what he was trying to do to other people, that what the people were trying to get him to do, the organization, to accuse people of things that they never did. He found out information about this one guy he deemed to have be deserving of death. That guy was innocent, and he full circle realized I've become the thing that I hated. And it's not full circle like nihilistic. It's that his actions have created this thing. And from a simple mistake of realizing that this guy did not do what the Grim Reaper, the executioner, came to say that you are, like, I'm judge, jury, and executioner. You're wrong, I'm going to kill you. Batwoman comes in, saves the day. Let me get rid of all that yellow. And while the executioner and Batwoman are in this building, Batwoman stopped the executioner, The executioner is about to try to kill him, or realizes that stopped because he realizes he made a mistake. Maybe the family of the guy he's trying to kill is there. Maybe his wife is in the other room and can hear. Maybe you can see the the disturbing, horrific fear that's been plastered all over the face of the mother who's trying to hold the baby of the guy, and it's like, just like, please don't kill my husband or something. And the guy is actually protecting his wife. Or maybe like hid his wife in a closet or something. It's like, come after me, don't come after my wife. But doesn't say that. It's like, just come after me, okay? Just like kill me and then boom, we're done. It's like, or like tries to fight or something. It's just like, hey, look at me, don't look at my wife. Like just something like that, where you get, it's honorable, it's respectable. A guy who is like, oh, you're supposed to be a villain, you're supposed to be evil. Why would you do that? And then realizes that the guy was actually an innocent person. He got the information wrong, and he questions every single person he ever executed in the city. So all these things, all these people, every single blood that has been ever spilt upon his hands starts coming in his mind of like, every single thing that I've ever done is wrong, or everything that I've been doing out here is wrong. There's nothing right in his world, because he has no future in his mind, in this horrible state that he's in, emotionally wise, physically, spiritually, everything. He has nothing. So what he does is he doesn't knock back Batwoman, but maybe they fight for a little bit, even though Batwoman may be a little bit more trained. Like the executioner is able to like fight through, or maybe Batwoman has him in not a chokehold, but a like something that if he moved, he would have his arm snapped, and it's like, I don't care anymore. He gets it snapped. And he gets out of the move by snapping his elbow out of in the opposite direction, so it's permanently cracked or something. It's just loose, and it's just waving. And then he grabs a pistol from Batwoman. Batwoman's kind of like stunned, like, what the hell? Grabs the gun, shoots the glass, and it cracks or something. And what he does is he runs through the glass itself, and then he falls to his death. He falls to his imminent demise. And then during his fall, we get to see maybe like a 1-minute transition of every single thing that he ever tried to do in his life, and and everything that he's ever done. He's finally, like, for himself found forgiveness, but then or something right before his fall. Or maybe we skip this entire thing, because I don't know if that's something that I want to not perpetuate, but to mimic. I don't want to have anybody actually go out there, because there's I don't know what it's called, a copycat. If someone does something, there's going to be people out there that go out and mimic it. I would love for it to be shown, but maybe no. Instead of him like finding forgiveness, like, this is the only peace I can find, maybe during the entire thing he doesn't find peace. He doesn't find that forgiveness. He only finds pain all the way down. And that's one thing. I think if you were to, like, again, show it on TV, that would really help copycatters who are out there actually feeling bad and who have no hope in life, is that even if you kill yourself, it's like you're still going to feel pain this way. So try to stop people, try to prevent people from actually going out there and doing a horrible act. Again, I've been down that rabbit hole. Again, personally, I actually have cried out suicide twice. It's within the same month or week or something, or maybe 2 days. The first day, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't express myself. So again, anybody out there who has ever experienced an episode like that, I couldn't express myself. It's not that I couldn't communicate. I couldn't say anything. My body couldn't get it out. Not the pain. Couldn't talk. So my body locked down for like 2-3 days, and it just kept building up, and then I just snapped. I didn't harm myself, but I was so I was so ready to. I was like, it's either kill myself or I need to ask for help. And it's just, something happened, changed, I got the help. It was in the military. It wasn't because of things in military. I was kind of fucked up before that. So again, I have so much privilege on my side. I really do. It's like there's not much for me to actually complain, because objectively I have been so blessed. I really have. But there's just I can sympathize with these type of feelings. Like I can sympathize with this entire character. You could probably consider that maybe the executioner is someone with whom I can sympathize and maybe have gone through with. Maybe to even project that this is the type of person with whom I wish I was at one point in my life. But I don't want to be this guy. It's like creating these stories has really like creating story. It's not the process of creating stories. It's the process of actually doing something. Going out, for me, communicating, using my words, not using visual, because I don't want to be a person who, for me, I've probably said this multiple times, but I don't need to go out there and post my physical self. It might be useful for the user, for the audience, but it's just not something I want to take into account that I'm trying to put on a show. Because if I can think or look away from the camera or not see myself while I'm being recorded, or not know that I'm not being recorded, so my physical appearance doesn't matter. I'm in my underwear right now, but it's really hot here too, so I don't really care how I look, because I care primarily about the entire story, the activity that I'm doing. And that's the process that has really helped me the most, the best. Not Skylar, Alex, I think, Samuel Alex, I think, from this morning, he posted a good comment about, making this type of story, this entire format, more concise, more precise, less foo-foo, less repetition, make it visually stunning or something. It's just like, make it more entertaining, make it more interesting or something. And it's like, it's true, but that takes away from the time that I can actually be enjoying myself, because that's a lot of time that's taken away from things that I actually care to do. And I know that's the way to actually lose in life. You have to do things that you don't like to do. But I haven't had things that I've actually cared to do. I've literally been emotionally unconnected, like just detached. And it's been sort of hard to actually open up with that idea. It's like emotionally it has been hard for me, and I'm probably gonna cry right now. You're crying. It's everybody throw insults at him. And everybody gets out their insult can, and it's a spray bottle. And everybody just starts squirting me with shame. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this would be that funny. It's just like shame. And somebody pulls out a smoke grenade, and they pull the little thingy that's on the grenade. They throw it at me, and when it explodes, it only says the word shame, like a cat, like that little cow thing you tip over, and it goes moo. I don't know if that's pain or if that's me just like sincerely laughing. I don't know, but I'm enjoying the laugh. This is, oh my gosh. Just pull squirt bottles and start spraying. What if Batwoman pulled out a bat spray, like a little water bottle of Windex, and started spraying the executor and said, no, rolled up a newspaper and like hit him over the head? No, stop it. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Stop it. Spray, spray, spray. It's just so silly. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, this has been therapy. Yeah. Okay. But we can end it off on a high note. So in this entire episode, we did it from start to finish. Actually, this is the one episode where we actually had an entire arc dedicated to the executioner. Again, those were the objectives that we had, and we actually kept to them. Man, that was pretty freaking awesome. Hail to the objectives. So I think every single episode that I do, every single video should be about this. You create the objectives, everything else will follow from that. And then we start to creating this amazing, heartfelt, sympathetic, empathetic, understanding type of guy who just had his entire world thrown upside down, and Batwoman was doing the right thing. And then Batwoman probably tries to understand the mess that happened up here, of all the things, then him falling to his demise, to his certain death. And then Batwoman just goes on and tries to make sense of it. And I really think this is where you could have a good narrative. You could have a narrative, a story with. I thoroughly enjoy moments where there's an actual narration of the main character over the story. And I think situations like this would actually permit it. You could probably have it a little bit at the beginning of maybe like, okay, this is my plan, this is me going out, and I'm going to try to test out these new weapons, non-lethal weapons, just, to prevent the enemy. And that could be the very beginning. But then at the very end, she's like writing in her journal every single night, every single evening, and she's trying to and she's monologuing her thoughts that are pertinent to the story at hand and where it's going to be going, having flashbacks or little scenes of, scenes, not flashbacks, but scenes specifically in real time about what's happening here that's going to progress the story forward into the next episode. That's what you could do. That would be freaking amazing. And I cannot believe that people who at the CW get paid what they get paid. I really don't. It's who you know. It has nothing to do with competency. So there you go. I choose to not believe that, but it is action. So and so forth. Thank you very much for being a part of this. Please post your comments, questions, and concerns right down below. Actually, one question I'd like to leave you off on, at the very end of the day is, what would be a villain story? You see, I don't really want to keep diving into villain stories. Like at least for right now. Like I'm tired. I'm emotionally exhausted from how much I was invested in that last story. I really was. And all those twists and turns, and again, an unfortunate end. But again, it's more of the Batwoman's progression, realizing the horrors or something of the story that Batman had to deal with. And he left. So she has to take over, and she just may not be prepared for this type of stuff. And one thing that can happen, I don't know. So where would you want the story to go? After this entire thing has been resolved, Batwoman is now on to the next adventure. Where would you want it to see? What would you want to see Batwoman do? What would you want to see a new villain do? Would you want to see more of the organization? Is there an organization? Do you want to change some of the things that were mentioned here? What are some things that actually light you up and get those creative juices flowing? That's the one request that I have for you. So, what do you want to have happened? Where do you want this story to go? That's my question to you. And if you will, please post your comments, questions, and concerns right down below. Please smash that like button, because that's going to be one of the most important ways for this channel to grow. And yeah, most importantly, you enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, I think we can end it off right there. Neat. See you next time.